As always, the draft might be over, but Rob Pelinka isn't done working. Shams tweeted this out shortly after the draft. Villanova star Eric Dixon has agreed to a two-way NBA contract with the Los Angeles Lakers, sources tell ESPN. Dixon was the #1 scorer in college basketball last season, shooting 41% from three-point range. So it's not often you find major second-round success stories in the NBA. Guys like Nikola Jokic, Jalen Brunson, Draymond Green are kind of the outliers. So when you're picking in the second round or even signing undrafted players, Big Game, what are you looking for?
To me, it seems like the first round, you get the talent. You get the flags, you get the exciting, you get the players that everyone is talking about. The second round seems like you get older players, a little bit more mature players, maybe been in the college maybe 3 or 4 years, and you're getting a shooter. You know, you're getting someone who can, as far as the pick, you're getting, guys who are experienced a little bit. You look at the history of the second round, and even in my day, you had, guys like Joe Dumars, guys like that. They seem to have a little bit more experience, maybe been in college a little bit longer, and they bring a little bit more calmness and experience right away, where you don't have to teach them as much. When I think of Austin Reeves, undrafted, who has that maturity, and so I think that's what you get when you get in that second round of players.
Yeah, James, great analysis. I would add that, nowadays it's really one of two things. Take the Lakers today. Are they going to draft for need? They obviously need a big man. They passed on that. So they went with best available player. And now more than ever, these second round picks, Allie and James, especially when you're higher in the second round, you're going to be called upon, because teams like the contracts, cheaper contracts, let's say, of a second round player. And you have so many guys making so much money on the top part of your roster. You need to fill it out with some guys from the second round. And those guys, instead of being stashed in Europe or stashed, somewhere overseas, they're going to play more often than not, because teams need that cheap labor, so to speak. So second rounders are more important than ever. And we'll see if our guy's going to make an impact or not. I like what I see so far, A, on tape, and B, talking with him, and also hearing what Rob had to say about him, too.
I learn something new from you every time when we talk about the ins and outs.
Every once in a while.
Drafted money.
I appreciate you saying that, though.
Yeah, and of course, in the Hall of Famer. The draft is just phase one of the Lakers' 2025 offseason to-do list. As we mentioned, Rob Pelinka is about to be a very busy man. Next up is hearing from his 22-year veteran, LeBron James, and his opt-out decision. That day is June 29th that we all have our eyes on, of course. He can either opt in or out. The contract is $52.6 million. That's his player option. All signs seem to be pointing to LeBron returning for season 23 here in Los Angeles, of course. I'll start with you. What are the factors that he is weighing, and kind of what do you think he does?
Well, I think there's going to be a couple little telltale signs here. If he opts in, this might be his last year as an NBA player. I have a feeling that this could be it. Just me, haven't talked to anyone that would know any better, just my instinct. If he opts out, was he leaving? No. I think he's coming back and probably signing a 2-year deal, probably another 1 year for sure, and 1 year tacked on top of that as a player option, just so he has that flexibility. So to me, either he opts in, and maybe we're going to see a farewell tour. We'll have to see what happens with that, or he opts out, James, and adds another year to the end of his contract.
I agree. I can't see LeBron going to another team, although we see Durant at 37 going to Houston. It's a different little scenario, I think. I think LeBron has found a home here in Los Angeles, and I think he's, wanting to, work with Luka and see how the team can build. This is an opportunity. I think he still feels like he can win a championship, depending on, how the makeup of the team. Still wants to be with Bronny. He wants to see his daughter play volleyball. I don't think he wants to be in another city. So I think he's found a home here, and I think he's willing to try to make it work, whether he opts in or whether he opts out.
He's not opting out and going to join the Brooklyn Nets. I think we're pretty sure about that.
After the LeBron decision, June 30th begins the free agency negotiation period. Of course, we've been talking about the Lakers' need for a big man all offseason long, and here are a few options. Brook Lopez played one season for the Lakers back in 2017-18, averaged 13 points, 4 boards in 74 games with LA. Clint Capella, Miles Turner are unrestricted free agents. The Lakers saw firsthand what Naz Reid can do in the playoff series just this past season, and the list, of course, goes on from there. So it could be a free agent signing or maybe a trade But is finding that center still the #1 offseason goal, do you think, Brez, and where does Rob Pelinka go to fill that void?
Yeah, I do. In this list, we've been looking at it for a couple months already. It'll be fun to finally say goodbye to it, probably in a week or two. There's good candidates on there. But the problem is, as I mentioned to Rob in our interview with him a few minutes ago, the Lakers don't have a ton of cash, James. They have about 5.7, 5.8 million. We don't know exactly what it's going to be for another few days. That's their biggest free agency tool. In the league where the average salary is more than double that, it's going to be hard to find a starting center that way. So what do? You make trades. That's why I asked Rob, is he going to be pretty active on the phones? I think he is. Kristaps Porzingis just traded to Atlanta, James. Kind of a salary dump by the Celtics. He's got one more year for about $30 million. I have a feeling he's going to be, he's gettable, let's put it that way. The Lakers obviously need a center. He fills some roles. He can block shots. He can definitely hit threes. Bad season for him injury-wise. He was sick a lot. Even in the playoffs, he was kind of in and out of the lineup because of a kind of a mysterious illness. And he's fragile over time. But Atlanta already has a good young center, Okongwu. He kind of took over the starting role from Clint Capella halfway through the season. I wonder if maybe the Lakers are going to be looking at Kristaps Porzingis.
Interesting.
Is he dependable? That's the thing.
That's the key.
You said, and you are Mr. Wikipedia when it comes to all this knowledge, because I like your idea of trading for big and playing the cheap labor players that are going to be coming in. Now, I know they're young, but I like, Capella was on that list. Brook Lopez is on that list. The stretch three can defend. So I think that's going to be their biggest task, because if you don't have you can get by in the regular season. But as we've seen, when you get in the playoffs, you need a rim protector and somebody that can muck it up a little bit. We missed that. So that list, I hope that we can find something that can match up with our team.
Yeah, and again, they did not go for a center with the 36th pick. Not that you find an immediate starter at that point in the draft, but they're going to be looking for big men, no doubt about it.
Indeed, the other big business item this offseason is a contract extension with Luka Doncic. Luka, in case you missed it, is eligible to sign a 4-year, $229 million extension on August 2nd.
It's James Worthy money right there.
Since he was traded, he is no longer eligible for the 5-year extension he could have signed with the Mavs. But I imagine that this is kind of like the LeBron situation, just buttoning things up and waiting for that signature.
Yeah, I mean, is he going to sign for the full 4-year extension on top of the years that he already has on his contract, James? Or is he going to go for a little bit less, maybe a 3-year extension, and try to be a free agent again in about 4 years? Keep in mind, he still has a year on his contract, and so I don't think he's going anywhere. Kind of like LeBron, like you alluded to, Allie. That's a lot of money to pass up on, James.
Yeah.
4 years, 229. But if he takes 3 years, and let's call it the math, maybe 175, 180, whatever that max would be, he could be a free agent again before 20.